Chronicling America is one of several applications that allow you to search historic newspapers for genealogical and other materials. The project was commissioned to locate and preserve copies of historic American newspapers. The site presently provides access to a directory of virtually all of the historic newspapers published in America from 1690 to the present, as well as 5 million selected and digitized newspaper pages and counting from newspapers dating from 1836 to 1922. The project is long-term and ongoing and is a partnership between the National Endowment for the Humanities and the Library of Congress. The goal is to develop an internet-based searchable database of U.S. newspapers. The project is far from finished, but still contains, as previously noted, millions of digitized pages and covers most of the United States. Supported by NEH, this digital resource will continue to be developed and will be permanently maintained at the Library of Congress and available on the Library of Congress website at no charge. One of the easiest ways to access the program is from the BYU Family History Library homepage. Select Newspapers from the left-hand column and then select Chronicling America from the list of newspapers presented. Another good way is from the Family Search Research Wiki. The Wiki provides a brief overview of features, one of the easiest ways to get a bird's eye view of the project. Scroll to Reference at the bottom of the page to access a link to the program. The most direct way, of course, is via the internet. Just type Chronicling America in your browser search bar to access options. The website has two major components: the U.S. newspaper directory from 1690 to the present. The directory lists newspapers maintained by repositories throughout the U.S. All historic newspapers aren't available from the Library of Congress site, but the site tells you which library does have copies of a particular newspaper. The other component is the Newspaper Digital Database. This is a database of selected digitized pages from individual newspapers. Not all of the newspapers' pages are digitized, and a few states are not yet represented. For example, I didn't see Alaska, Maine, New Hampshire, Delaware, and there may be others. All the existing pages, however, are searchable. This slide captures the primary interface for Chronicling America. We'll talk about the options from right to left, newspaper directories first, and then digitized newspapers next. This is the interface for the newspaper directory. The newspaper directory lists newspapers published in the United States since 1690. It can help you identify which papers existed for a specific place and time, and it also provides links to help you access them. Currently, 153,000 plus titles are listed. The online list is searchable by state, county, and city, with additional options for publication date, language, keywords, ethnicity, Library of Congress call numbers, and so on. This newspaper title directory is derived from library catalog records created by state institutions during the NEH-sponsored United States newspaper program that lasted from 1980 to 2007. This program funded state-level projects to locate, describe, catalog, and selectively preserve, via microfilm, historic newspaper collections in that state. If I search for Utah, Carbon County, I get a list of newspapers, including the dates the newspaper existed. If I select a Carbon County newspaper, I get all sorts of interesting tidbits. For example, I learned that S.H. Brownlee and Dexter Smith bought the Eastern Utah Telegraph in 1895 and changed the name to the Eastern Utah Advocate. Smith and Brownlee became newsworthy themselves when the co-publishers were accused of setting fire to their office to collect insurance. Subsequently, they were tried, sentenced, and incarcerated in the Price City Jail. Smith or Brownlee, I don't remember which, wasn't too enamored with the Price Jail and managed to escape and leave the state. Selecting the tab to search digitized newspaper pages unfortunately superimposes the interface over the newspaper directory interface, making it a little confusing unless you are aware of the situation. The other major focus of Chronicling America, all digitized newspapers from 1836 to 1922, provides access to some 10 million and growing digitized pages from newspapers in this time frame. Options allow you to select and search the entire archive or choose a state and time period. The database is searchable by individual words or the names of individuals. Searches can also be limited by ethnicity or language. If I select French, for example, I get a list of 32 French language newspapers, mostly published in Louisiana, but one from Hawaii and one from Vermont. If I search for Utah papers in English, the program retrieves some 40 historical newspapers published before 1922. Notice that the list is ordered in alphabetical order. If I want information about the American Fork Citizen, the program displays information about the newspaper similar to the information on the right of the screen. By selecting libraries that have it, I find out that Brigham Young University and Princeton University both have copies. The heart of the program, for me at least, is finding clippings about my ancestors. There are a couple of ways to do this. One way is to use the search box that is available from either the U.S. Newspaper Directory option or the Search Pages option. You'll want to limit your search by specifying a state and time frame, and then type in an event or the name of an individual that you want information about and press go. The other option is using the Advanced Search option. The Advanced Search option also allows you to limit your search by state, newspaper, time frame, or any or all of several other options. You can enter any of the words that you're searching for, all of the words, enter a phrase, enter words in proximity. In the searching that I did, I didn't have very different results with any of these other options, but try it for yourself and see what happens. For example, I searched for one of my relatives, Elisha Jones, without specifying a state, and retrieved several articles from Wichita, Kansas. It wasn't until I added Utah that I retrieved anything about my Elisha Jones. Displayed here is a slide of the returns in my search for Elisha. Once you select one of the highlighted areas, it's easy to zoom so that the entry is readable. For fun, you might want to investigate some of the options in the left pane. For example, the newspaper and current periodicals reading room. This digital database contains topics widely covered in the American press of the time, from 1836 to 1922. Pages can be accessed via an alphabetical list of topics, for example, the blizzard of 1888, or you can find out about Babe Ruth, or you can select a date range. The effort to add digital pages, as we said before, is ongoing. Want to help increase the number of digital pages that have been programmed? The URLs on this page will lead you to program guidelines, participation requirements, and technical information. Check them out. This is an interesting site. You'll want to investigate it thoroughly to find out whether it will be valuable for you.